Enemy contact.
Lost the lead. We've taken the lead. Friendly hunter-killer drone deployed.
Target's in sight.
Reloading!
Look down! I'm hurt! I'm down! Take back up!
Friendly Predator missile inbound.
Enemy contact.
UAV recon ready for deployment. Predator missile on standby. Friendly stealth chopper inbound. Keep on them. We're winning this one.
Enemy contact.
Hunter-killer drone
Semtex
deployed.
out.
Predator missile inbound. Friendly Predator missile inbound.
Target's in sight.